Hello, welcome to the Push to Play Network. My name is Lewis, and today we're going to be looking at Tribes Ascend. Now, Tribes Ascend is made by Hi-Rez Studios, and the game is currently in open beta, so anyone can get in free to give the game a try, which is pretty cool. I've been playing the game now for a couple of weeks, maybe just a little bit over, and I've kind of fallen in love with it. I've obviously had a go at a lot of other first-person shooters, and I think this really sticks out. It definitely sticks out for me. So let's have a look at the in-game options. So when you start the game, you create yourself a profile, and from there, obviously all of that's free, so you don't have to pay for anything. Once you've done that, you can then start looking at all these subsections. So I would definitely start with the training, which will go through your ski tutorial. So you might be asking, what is skiing? Well, skiing is basically the major part in this game, to me, that really makes it very special compared to other first-person shooters. When it comes to games like the Call of Duties, which generally compared to first-person shooters are rather linear, I think this sticks out quite a bit, and the skiing generally what adds to that. So you want to get that down to a T before you actually jump into the game. I would definitely do a bit of ski tutorial, target practice, and ski challenges and roam maps, which is quite nice. Then let's have a look at the modified classes. So the game itself has a selection of classes that you can choose from. When you start, you have the Pathfinder, Soldier, and the Juggernaut. With these classes, each one has its own certain role, and from there you can obviously decide on which character you want to play the most of. With the Pathfinder, who I've been playing, he's the faster one of the lot. Obviously the Soldier is kind of an all-rounder, and your Juggernaut's your heavy. Each one with their set class has a number of different specifications that you can unlock and combine those together to make your perfect player. If I could pick any problem with this, it might be that each class doesn't really have much customizable in-game content. It's not really a major problem, but it's just me being a little bit picky. So for instance, when you're playing the Pathfinder with your main two weapons, you only have two weapons. You start with one, and the other one you have to unlock. And with the unlocking side of it as well, you have to use your in-game XP, which you use through playing the actual game. You can get GP, which I will cover that in a second, which obviously is less. There is a reason behind that though. And once you've got all those, you can then obviously attach certain parts to that player and change it however you like. You do also have perks as well, a lot like the Call of Duty, which allow you to change different bits around. So for instance, this one reduces the cost of vehicles by 10%, reduces fall damage by 40%. Ultra Capacitor 1 is what you start with, which is plus 10 energy. Okie doke. Now, with this part here, so I'm going to show you the add gold section. Ooh, let's jump back in again. Okay, so with the game being free of charge, there's obviously some sort of catch to it. I wouldn't call it a catch by any means, but there's something behind it that will make them their money. They have to eat, obviously, as a company. They work towards something and they have to be paid. So with that, you can buy gold, and with the gold, obviously, for instance, $34.99, that will get you 3,500 gold, and you get 2,000 bonus gold, which gives you 5,500 plus a 60-day booster. Now with your boosters, it says basically that you double your experience points, so when you complete a match or leave halfway through, you're obviously rewarded with XP, and that will double that up. You can see at the minute I don't have any boosters or GP because I haven't bought any, but I wouldn't feel too bad in buying any of the GP for the sole reason that the game's free and it's a very good game. And if I had to pick a way to support Hi-Rez in what they're doing, then that would be buying GP. Okay, so we've looked at that. We've looked at the different types of characters. Now let's move on. So you can play with friends. Obviously you all have your own individual gamer tag. You can add that gamer tag and then join their games, or they can join yours. Unfortunately, at the minute, the game itself, being open beta, has only their own server, so there are no custom servers. You can't create your own and join that game, and each game has a limited amount of players, so if their game is full, you're just going to have to wait. Which, hopefully, when the game actually comes out, there's going to be some changes to that, and the custom servers will come available, so you can mix and match and create your own games. May I point out as well that the game has been given a release date of the 12th of April, which is coming around very soon, seeing it's the 9th now. I'm quite looking forward to that, and hopefully the game's going to stay free. I have no idea whether it will or won't, but it would be very nice to see an amazing game like Tribes Ascend be always free to play. Okay, so we've had a look at that. Now let's get into the game modes. So straight out you get Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag, which are, as they stand, general Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag. The only differences there might be is in Team Deathmatch they do add what's called a flag, and the first team to create a death will be rewarded with the flag, which will give all their team members double XP as long as they're holding the flag. So you generally find that people will fly around trying to kill the person with the flag, and in my view that makes them easy targets. So I kind of go after them. I try and stay away from picking up the flag because it just makes you a target. Capture the Flag is general capture the flag, get the flag, bring it to the base. If they have your flag, then you can't deem their flag, and obviously then you have to fight back and forth to get the flag going. Arena opens up at level 8 where it's 5 on 5. Each game mode with Team Deathmatch and Arena there are a capped amount of lives per team. So if you are doing rubbish in the game then you're not helping your team out. So get involved with the training and try and get yourself a little bit better so you can help your teammates out. There is in-game chat, so expect for them to have a moan at you. Ranked matches is obviously coming soon, and custom servers, like I said, isn't around yet, but will hopefully come out with the game if it is released on the 12th of April, which would be very nice, because I would like to join and create my own games. Join a friend is obviously as it sounds, and change region is change region. So we're going to go in with Team Deathmatch and see how we fare in Tribes Ascend. So like I say, I've had a few goes at the game. I wouldn't class myself a pro by any means. There are some amazing Tribes players out there. But we're doing okay as far as it stands. Since I haven't bought any content either for the game, my lack of weaponry unfortunately doesn't help me. So when you start, you're given to be either Blood Eagle or Diamond Sword. Now I'm going to go with Diamond Sword just because I generally think they look the cooler of the two. And I'm going to pick my Pathfinder.
Prepare for deployment.
Cool. So when you start, you'll be able to see on the left and right that I'm skiing, and when you're skiing you go up in speed depending on how far you're dropping. You can also hold down the right key and that will allow you to use your jetpack. Now each class has a set amount of energy which can be used for the jetpack. So if you're a heavy, then obviously you're not going to be able to use as much energy as one like the Pathfinder, which I am playing at the minute. With the weapons, you have a set amount of ammunition, so you can see that I have 23. If I get on my shotgun, I have 6, which obviously is my close quarter weapon, and it has got a kind of hit scan to it. With the shotgun, that is completely different for this weapon. Oh, let's try and get this guy up here, shall we? He's trying to do one. Oh, and you see that's not very good. Not very good at all. So with the game, when you're playing it, you'll automatically realise that you cannot just point and shoot. Obviously, if you're using a shotgun, you can do that, but I'm not going to hit him from here. So, yes, you've got to get quite good at your aiming, and you'll find out very quickly that it's not as easy as it sounds. And we took a little bit of damage there, so we're down to 491. With the game itself, obviously, if you stay out of danger and try and stop yourself from getting shot as much, your health will rejuvenate. Hopefully, we'll see that in a second if I can stay out of harm's way. There we go, so we can see that we've got ourselves some health. You also get your grenades, so dependent on your class you'll have different types of grenades. You can customise that from the character customization screen as well, which is quite nice. I like being able to customise my character. I think there could be a bit more character customization. If I had to pick a fault, that would probably be it. And this dude is just standing around, unfortunately. He's an easy target. That we missed. Ah, there we go. So with the use of the jetpacks and the skis, this is really what opens up the gameplay to me. I haven't played a game that moves this fast in a hell of a long time, and to be completely honest, the games that are out at the minute that have the function of first-person shooters and multiplayer are generally surrounded by Call of Duty fans having a bit of a moment and trying to pawn each other, which, in all honesty, to me, has just got a bit boring now. I have lost quite a bit of interest when it comes to the Call of Duty franchise, and I think the people who play the Call of Duty games have themselves as well, because when you're actually playing Call of Duty or you're listening to any of the fans, they have a lot of die-hard fans, which is quite nice, and the Tribes Ascend fan base is getting there. But they always never seem unhappy with the new release. So when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out, they preferred Call of Duty 1. When Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 came out, they preferred Modern Warfare 2, and vice versa. And I don't even think they're happy with what they want from the game, to be completely honest. With this, it's a hell of a lot faster, and I really like that. I like the sense of urgency in a game, which games have been lacking for a hell of a long time when it comes to first-person shooters. You can see we just got beaten up there by a chain gun, which was by one of the heavies, and match victory. So that one finished very, very quick. You can see that, unfortunately, we won that one. So we got 59, and they all died. So first win of the day. So I guess this gives me a chance to explain the player summary board. So with the player summary board, you get your match victory. You get what's called badges here. So depending on how well you do, there are lots of different types of badges, like hitting people in midair, getting the most amount of kills, the most amount of experience in the game. There's tons of different badges. It also shows your rank progression, which is quite nice. You get your match results and your experience gained. If I click across here, you can see the leaderboard, and you do get some amazing people in there. So this dude, ShrimpFan6350, he did really well. Unfortunately, we did a bit rubbish, but bear in mind I'm obviously speaking as we play the game. So as the leaderboard goes, I quite like that. It's nice to see a full detailed leaderboard on there, and it's something that obviously should be implemented in every game as far as I'm aware. I haven't really got a problem to pick with that. So let's see how quickly we can load into another game. I haven't had a problem with loading into another game in previous tries, and we're straight in. Here we go. So let's pick the Pathfinder once again, and we'll talk about something else. So let's look graphically at the game. So the game graphically, in my eyes, looks rather nice. I'm playing it on medium. There is the high and ultra, which automatically set the graphics for you. I believe you can change that around if you go a little bit more in depth, but I'm perfectly fine with having the graphics set out for me. I normally don't mess about. I prefer the gameplay more than anything else, and Tribes seems to give me the gameplay that I've been yearning for. I've had enough of people running around with their snipers. Obviously there are sniping in this, but it's just slow. Jeez, you play the Call of Duties, and to me they're just boring now. They're boring the hell out of me. Run around, it's the same thing over and over again. Every Call of Duty, as far as I'm aware, in the last couple of years has been identical. They bring out their difference, so they bring out what they had. They had Black Ops, the new Modern Warfare, and they seem identical. I can't pick out anything different to them. They had a couple of perks, maybe a couple of game changing, so different maps, bits and bobs. But overall they're the same thing, and I've lost complete interest in that franchise. And some of you may disagree. Obviously there are some die-hard Call of Duty fans out there, but I really couldn't care either way what you think on that side of things. This adds something completely different, which hasn't been done in a first-person shooter for a hell of a long time, and this is why I love the game so much. I can see this game being extremely successful in that point, and also adds a new genre to the gaming franchise as far as it comes to actual sports. So e-game sports is something that I want to touch on as well. I can see this game doing really well in that. I know that the Call of Duty, I keep putting this towards Call of Duty because that is the general first-person shooter that's kind of around these days, and that's what everyone seems to be playing. So the esports side of this I can see doing really, really well. It's definitely something completely different, and the Tribes Ascend fan base, as far as I can tell, is a hardcore fan base. It obviously isn't as big as the Call of Duty fan base, but it's getting there, and I can see it doing really, really, really well. Getting shot from everywhere here. Another Falcon pistol. So on the top right you can see we have our credits, which is 1084. With the credits you can do, just below that is ready call in, you can call in certain drops, so you can have supply drops, you can have, what else can you have, you can have orbital strikes, lots of different strikes, and they obviously all change the game. I've used a couple of them, and to be completely honest, that's the one problem. It's a bit of a nightmare to get your orbital drops right, because it uses it a bit like an in-game lever. If I can pull it up now, there you go. So that's a tactical strike, so that'll cost us 4,000 credits to use one of those. A bit like the perks in Modern Warfare, and then go into Modern Warfare again. A bit like the perks in that, your kill streaks, it adds that part in as well, which will keep all of those guys happy. I generally don't really use them. I'm not very good at using them. kind of fail when I use them. I don't seem to hit anyone. I guess when you get really good at them, then it obviously makes a difference to the game, but as far as I'm aware at the minute, I haven't really used them that much. When it comes to weapons as well, I think there is a nice diversity in weapons. It would be good to see some of the weapons go onto different classes. I know you can swap and change, but you only get a couple, so it would be nice to see a complete different change in weaponry. But then again, there is the whole fact that if you're good enough with your class, you shouldn't need different weapons. And I totally agree with that. I agree what people are saying, that if you expertise in that class that you're playing, then you shouldn't have to piss around with your weapons. And yeah, I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I haven't got a problem with that. I think that once you get good enough, you should specialise in what you're good at. They do give you a variation of classes, so obviously if you're one of these big dudes down here, you can take a hell of a lot more damage, but you're a lot slower, you have less energy, so you can't jump around as much, and it generally makes you more of a... you can sit on the flag itself and just kind of hold the fort as it is, which they're great at doing that. In Team Deathmatch, I don't really think that their class is the best for Team Deathmatch for the reason that they're kind of a sitting duck, and whenever I've played that class, I just seem to get my ass kicked because you're a bit of an easy target, and unless you have perfect aim, which with those weapons they use, the grenade type launchers, it's a bit harder to get your hits because it doesn't hit the ground and explode straight away. It kind of jumps around a little bit. Oh, there we go, and got a blue play special, very nice. Which makes them not the best class for me. I prefer the Pathfinder for the pure speed of it, which is why I play the game, really. Field of view is quite nice. I haven't got a problem with the field of view. I know some of the guys have been moaning that the weapons are too big. I don't see a problem with that yet. I've had a couple of instances where when the enemy is jumped above me, I kind of jump around and my gun just flails everywhere. It's probably just me being rubbish. But there has been some discussions on whether that should be changed. On a PC game, I don't really see the point in having huge guns. I can understand when it comes to the console games, just for the reason that there is a little trick behind that, in which if the gun is a certain size, then obviously you don't have to worry about the screen taking up too much of the rendering time for the obviously the graphics behind it. So that's a bit of a little trick there for when it comes to creating the game. Obviously if you have a good enough computer, then that's not really going to change anything, and you can just change the visual quality details on it if you are having a problem. I don't think this game is massively graphically intensive, and obviously you can change that if you want to change that. But as far as I'm aware, running on medium seems to run perfectly fine. I've run it on the higher settings, and oh, geez, it does look very nice. It does look very nice indeed. These guys are definitely going at us. So this match is about to finish with 2 lives left. There we go, so that one's finished. So we're going to try the next one with a different class and see how that goes. With the classes in the game, I really like the diversity of the classes. And as I was saying about the weapon changes, it's nice to see different weapons in a game, don't get me wrong. I like to have the freedom to change my weapons. Obviously Call of Duty and some of the other first-person shooters do have the ability to add many different weapons to that class. But then there is the fact that obviously you should be able to master your class, and if you played this game in an esports environment, then you should be mastering the class that you definitely want to play with. For instance, the Pathfinder, which I've been playing with, that is kind of my main class. Obviously we're going to have a go at a different one in a minute, but you should see the complete difference in the gameplay, and that really changes the environment and how you're going to be playing the game. If you could choose the weapons to go with that, then you might as well have just picked a Pathfinder again, which kind of defeats the object. I'm not too sure. I don't think I'm too bought on that one just yet. I like the idea behind it, but it's a bit of a two-sided coin for that one. Okay, so we're in with this one, so let's look at Diamond Sword, and we're going to pick the... what we're going to go with? We're going to go with a Juggernaut.
Know your enemy.
So the Juggernaut is the heavier class in the game. There are a couple of others that you can unlock. So we have this kind of big grenadey thing, and when we fire it, it launches and bounces. and does a hell of a lot of damage. So if you can get a hit with it, then obviously you can literally almost one-hit people with this. The nice bit with it as well that you do get a spin fuser, so your secondary weapon isn't like a shotgun. So you have the firepower to go with it. The only problem is, as you can see, I'm a bit slow and I can't move very fast. My energy restraint is quite bad as well, so I can't jump very high. So you can already see that I've got two guys trying to hunt me down. And if we could get a hit on them, then that would be great. But it's a little bit harder than that. And I think to master this class is a little bit harder than some of the others. Obviously, they all have their own individual traits. So Pathfinder-wise, you have to be really good at your movement. I'm surprised we haven't died yet, to be completely honest. But obviously that comes with the increase of health. So you can see I have 1,750 health at the minute. And as far as I'm aware, it regenerates quite quickly. So I can take a hell of a lot more hits than the other ones can, and I deal a lot more damage. There we go, we got a hit there. But we got done by the grenade launcher once we got that person. Okay, so with the heavier guns, obviously you have less ammunition. So let's touch on the ammunition side of it. With the ammunition, once you kill someone, they'll drop a inventory satchel, and from there you can pick that up and that will give you some more ammunition. Obviously when you first start the game, which obviously the same as when I went through it, we're going to run out of ammunition a hell of a lot because you're just going to be firing all over the place until you get your target practice up to scratch. Which means you're going to be relying on picking up those additional ammunition supplies. Around the map there are supply areas that you can get into. So you can see around here these little ammunition icons on here are your supply areas. So you can get inside one of those and that will replenish all of your ammunition. And that is pretty much it for the ammunition side of it. I think with the heavier classes you get less ammunition as well, but you get more powerful weapons, so that's going to happen. I don't think I'm really spent on this class, to be completely honest. I much prefer the faster of classes. I feel a little bit idle. I don't think I can do as well. Obviously we're doing a hell of a lot more damage and I can take a lot more damage, so I can spend a little bit of time in taking some hits as far as it goes. But the other classes can obviously throw out more ammunition and more hits, which is a bit annoying. Map size is another thing. The map size is very nice. They've actually put a lot of time into the map size as far as I'm aware, and it's really paid off. I like how they've obviously taken to concept the skiing ability. So there's a lot of areas that have ditches and they go down, so you can pick up the skiing. So you can see here that we're picking up a little bit of speed. And when it comes to jumping over certain parts of land, that's just a trick that you're going to get used to eventually. I've kind of picked up on that. I think that the jumping around and the jetpack side of it is something that you have to master to get very good at this game. You can't rely on health just alone. Obviously the heavy class that I'm playing at the minute has got 2500 from start off, but that's very quickly going to go down if you're just sat idle in the middle of nowhere and you've got people bombarding you with their firepower. But overall the maps and map size is very nice. When it comes to playing Team Deathmatch, there are different maps as well, so there are certain maps specifically for certain game types. With the game types as well, I would like to see some more game types. That's one unfortunate con that I have with the game. The game types that they have got, Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, Arena, they're nice, they're very nice, but there are other game types out there which I would like to see. If I can pick some, I'd probably have to let's look at Halo. So Halo, for instance. Halo has a massive fan base and a massive online community, but it also has tons and tons of different type of matchmaking abilities, and there are also lots of different type of game types when it comes to the online gaming, which is nice, and I quite like that. I would like to see more of that in the final edit of this game. Obviously the 12th is what has been given for that, so it hasn't got much time, and let's hope they put something like that in there. I don't think it's going to be a massive flaw in the game itself when it comes to matchmaking. People seem to like the Team Deathmatch and the Capture the Flag that's in there at the minute. I haven't really played much of Arena. Arena side of it is obviously what I think is going to be the main concept when it comes to e-gaming, if this does make it off, which it should. It's a very, very good game, and definitely something that I would want to see in the e-gaming market. So what else is there to talk about on this game? What don't I like about the game? So, if I could pick any flaws in the game, it would be map types. So, more maps, definitely more maps. There's not really much that I can say, seeing as the game is beta and is free. And that kind of gives them a pass for missing certain bits and bobs in the game. Hopefully they'll add those bits in. But definitely more maps and more map types would be quite nice. Obviously the custom servers is something that's going to come in time. That's a brilliant shot as well. And that will allow it a lot easier for playing with your friends. With the chat system in it as well, I don't see much going on with the chat. Obviously, it's extremely hard to write while playing. It's such a fast-paced game that I don't think you could really do that. I don't think it has its own in-game chat as of yet. Whether they're going to add that in, I don't know. Hopefully they will. I can see some extreme nerd rage coming on from this game. But, yeah, I can't really think of anything else to go with it. It's quite a flawless game, to be completely honest. The game works very well. The mechanics in the game are very, very nice. It definitely sticks out compared to some of the other games out there. Call of Duty. Yeah, it definitely sticks out compared to the older genre first-person shooters, as I would like to call them. They've been done millions and millions of times, and it's time for something a little bit different, and I think this will definitely fill that market. I'm getting very bored of running from one side of the map, holding down the firing trigger as I move about 5 miles per hour, not really getting anywhere while people scream and go a little bit mental when I have little 5-year-olds trying to own me with their sniper rifles. It's just a bit boring. And this opens up a certain place in the market that I haven't seen tried to be filled in a long time. So I'm hoping that this is obviously going to do really well, and it definitely deserves the kind of coverage that it's getting at the minute. I've seen a lot of videos go up online that obviously are showing great gratitude to the game, which it definitely deserves. I personally will be playing this game a hell of a lot more. I've been doing a lot of gaming on certain different types over the last couple of years, and this definitely sticks out for me. So yeah, I'm probably going to wrap it up there. Unfortunately, we lost that one. I think that the game itself is extremely good, and I will definitely buy it if it becomes a buyable game. If it's left free to play, then that is amazing. I would love to see this be completely free to play, even when the actual game is released and opened up out of its beta constraints. I would like to see more game matches put in. I'd like to see more maps put in, but obviously it is beta, so that's definitely something that I'm guessing is in the pipeline and will be added in with it. Let's move out of here. So yes, I think we've basically touched over most of it. Gameplay is very nice. The graphics is very nice. It works very well as a first-person shooter as well, and definitely fills some niche gaps that needed filling. It opens up a lot more in the way of online gaming when it comes to the more competitive side of it as well. I know the first-person shooters at the minute are kind of lacking in that, and the online gaming society, when it comes to the actual professional side of it, I think is taken up mostly by your StarCrafts and those sorts of games, which I think it's always going to be. They kind of kicked it off, and that's where it's going to stay. But I would like to see Tribes Ascend make its way in there. It definitely deserves that type of thing. So that is pretty much it. I would give this game a definite thumbs up. I'm a bigger fan of the Tribes Ascend, and I'm hopefully going to be doing some more videos on the game itself. We're going to be looking a bit more in-depth into the characters and ways in which I think you can succeed with those characters, and what makes them tick, and what can be changed with those characters. as far as I'm aware. So if you don't agree with anything that I've said, then please let me know. I'm completely up for criticism. As I say, I play this from my perspective, which could be wrong. Could be wrong, definitely could be wrong, or I could be right. So let me know what you think. My name's Lewis from the Push to Play Network, and I will see you soon for some more Let's Play action. Goodbye.